Brent said to me, you're going to have to be on the show. You're the special guest. I said, I know I'm special. I was part of the person that started this whole thing. So one of the things that I like to do is when Brent and I used to go to Quilt Market every year for a long time together. And after we moved to Twin Falls, I took all these things with me. And then I started moving them in the house about 2 weeks ago. They were out in the garage at a special spot, you know, because you have special places for these things that you love. And one of the kits that came in was this one right here. It's called Letters Home. And I said, oh, I think I really want to make that, because when you go to Quilt Market, you can actually just buy these kits of this stuff, and then you can say, oh, I want to do that. And so now, no, you cannot get this. I have no idea if it even is still out there. This is 2014 we're talking, okay? So then I said...
So even you have a stash.
I have a stash that's unbelievable. So Eddie, I'm just going to use the table, if that's okay. So in this little book right here, you have these blocks that are very interesting, and I look at them and I'm like, do you realize that they actually do this? They actually do this whole thing with half square triangles. All of them are half square triangles. See that block right there? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I am not wasting my time making a whole bunch of half square triangles when that's half of your square right there, right? So let's go to this page right here. They wanted you to put 4 half square triangles for your square and a square and make your flying geese with half square triangles. Come on. So today I said, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to take a look at today's block. See, when I come here, I like to sew. So this one, they like to make the flying geese where you have your 2.5 and your 4.5, and you make the square and you cut off the corner. I personally do not like to do that because you don't get really nice points when you do that. So then I said, you know, you can make 4 flying geese at a time with a 5 1/4 inch square. So you're saying, well, where are you going to find that? So I went... When Pinterest first came out, Brent said, we need a Pinterest page. So I started one under my name, Fun at 4 Pines Quilting. And I have some really good stuff in there, and people actually follow it and take things from me. So then Danny says, well, I think that 4 Pines Quilting has a Pinterest page. So we looked it up. People, don't go to that page until we clean it up. I said to Brent, I need to clean that up. And I'll put my stuff that's in.
Why do you even bring it up?
Because, you know, that's one of the things that Emma talks about. Emma, who has her YouTube channel, she's like, yeah, don't do that yet, but we're going to take care of it. And she follows through with that. So one of the things that you can do is
John's onto something. Hashtag little Becky. We got to put an underscore in there. But anyway.
So the thing I just Googled the no waste flying geese cutting chart. So in the 4 Pines Quilting Pinterest page that we're going to get going before I leave, I hope, we're going to start putting these pages in there, because then you can go right to them and you can find them. So there's actually a sheet that you can get, and it has all the different sizes listed, and then you just cut what you need. And so I just took my pattern and I said, okay, I need 4 flying geese with this. You can see them on the other page. And I need 4 flying geese with the other one. I'm not sure about doing this. See, you guys are pros at this.
You just gotta sit still.
Eddie finds you.
Okay. So I said, I'm just going to go ahead and take my pattern and write over here what it is that I need. And we, of course, know about Becky's super duper turbo tip with the erasable pen, because now when I go home I just iron my page. I do that all the time. Woo-hoo! And those are gone. And so then my friend, and then I was thinking about Brent here, said, don't copy things. And my friend Jackie said, can I have a copy of that? And I said to her, no, I'll give it to you when I'm done. I'm never making this again. So if that's how you feel about some of these things, I have no problem doing that. And I thought, because I'm never making this again, right? So that was basically what I was going to do. I can show you how I was going to cut them out and how they go together. I don't know. Do we have time for that? Or should I keep talking about that?
All the time you have.
Okay. So
this is our 500 subscriber episode special, so you can go for hours.
Brent should never go first. He takes up all the time.
That's okay. So I have. Yeah, let's go to this completely now. So this particular block takes this cream fabric, this yellow fabric. I should put them in order, right? And this purple right here. So then I said, okay, I picked those all out. And I need, it says here, cut H 2.5 by 2.5. The other thing these are the little corners of my flying geese. I always cut them a little bit bigger. If you look at the chart, it says to cut them 2 7/8. Well, I'm going to go for 3 because I would much rather trim something and make it perfect than try to stretch it to make it the right size.
Yeah, I do the picture ready.
So,
Make it more interesting to watch.
yeah, make it more interesting to watch. Okay, quick.
I'm just saying because you can see some in the corner, so I can make faces.
But
like
you
the
know, when Emma does hers, we'll talk about Emma now, the professional YouTuber in our family.
cats. Yeah, but
she does not do live. She edits everything. She goes through a whole thing and she edits it.
I'm too lazy to edit.
And then she.
I don't want to see my edited version.
Right, but I'm just saying that's what she does a lot of times.
But Jean is bringing up a really good point that you should always pre-read your pattern so you can see how to what you can change to make it easier.
Yes.
Because you have to keep in mind when people write patterns, they're trying to keep the writing process simple. So some of the things, like I've seen patterns, like our block of the month we're using, actually says, make flying geese according to the Quilt in a Day version. Because they don't want to go through the trouble of trying to explain how to make a flying geese pattern. So always, yes, pre-read your patterns for sure. And that'll help give you an idea. As you do more quilting, you'll know better techniques once you understand what you're doing.
Okay, I've just said that. So I need 4 3-inch. And I'm
My
like,
favorite way to do half squares and flying geese is through triangulation.
yes. And that's what this book is doing, because they're like, well, let's just make a whole bunch of half square triangles and put them together, and then you'll get your square in the square, you'll get your flying geese, you'll get everything that you need. So here's my corners of my flying geese right here. And I think I need 4.
Now, then you got the information for this off of your little cheat sheet on your Pinterest?
Yes.
Or not,
well,
not
it's in Fun at 4 Pines under Becky. So if you want to go to Becky Ferland and follow that one, it's in there. But our plan, after Danny and I had a discussion, was that we're going to actually fix the 4 Pines quilting actual. Go ahead and look and see what Brent thinks is great for Pinterest.
No, don't tell people. We talked about that.
I just put weird stuff up because I don't
think you've touched it in like
I
5
haven't.
years.
Because when I would start all this, everybody would look at me like I'm crazy when I'm trying to do that. I'm just like, I don't have time for it, so I stopped bothering. And now all of a sudden, you all caught up with me. I was ahead of the curve, and I have now moved on.
It's okay.
So 5 years from now, nobody's going to care because that's where I'm at with it. So if I'm that far ahead of the curve.
So then the next square, the square that's inside though, I like to make it exactly what it says. And this one has to be a 5 1/4 inch square.
Yes, we now have Creative Grids rulers as well on shelf.
Oh, that's right.
Everybody was asking about that. We did get our shipment in.
You really broke down and brought in Creative
Yes.
ruler.
Well, I have to tell you about Creative Grids. They only come from one distributor, and they are not very pleasant to work with.
That's what we have heard.
Yes, but we're
See,
grateful
now
for them now.
Now that we're gonna put this out on YouTube, and they're gonna watch it. Like we're cutting them off. No
Yeah, you
Creative Grids for
finally
them.
get-
Now, no
Watch
Creative
it
Grids.
with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. I think Creative Grids rulers are wonderful.
They are.
They are.
They are
Did
wonderful.
you get the curved one in?
No, no. I just got some basic ones in, but I'll be happy to get more. Just tell me what you need. I have the.
There's
we
even
have
a wish list.
We have the little check sheet for so you can check off now when you start collecting them, like you collect baseball cards. You just collect
I
your
have
rulers.
a bunch of rulers myself, but
But I find that I have a bunch of rulers that I never ever use. Or, So now here's my flying geese. And you can see that there is no waste. And by going for the 3 inches instead of the 2 7/8, I know for a fact that I'll be able to get my 1/4 inch up here.
Yeah, and Gene again makes another good point. The Studio 180, if you do have an opportunity to take some of those classes,
They have and I use the Studio 180 wing clipper to trim up my flying geese.
the Deb Tucker has some really good tools that make really good components for making quilts. That's a shout out. Studio 180 is great for that. Bonnie does a Studio 180 class up here, and she does a nice job. But Studio 180, yes, great stuff.
Yes.
Jean says she would like the Curb's Creative Grids ruler.
Okay.
It's because we use it in the Judy Niemeyer classes.
Oh, okay. And we're gonna be doing another one of those because your beachfront's coming in or whatever that one's
Yeah,
called.
we got people who like it.
So when you're sewing these,
Beach house.
yeah.
Beach house. Okay.
So by making them just that little tiny bit bigger, I should probably grab one of my blocks out of my box there. Do you see the box, Brenda? Right there, yeah. They're right there.
Ooh, it's fancy.
It is fancy. So here's the block. This right here was supposed to be 4 half square triangles. I think it looks so much better by having your square and a square. You can also look up square and a square, a chart, and you'll know how big to make your center square and each one of these out here so that you get the your finished size.
Okay, so
Don't
according,
look at that. I'll put my finger on it. Because,
so according to the pattern, then you're saying that this would have been 4 separate pieces
Yes.
of fabric because you would have made your square here and put them together.
yes.
Okay.
And that's how they wanted you to do these flying geese up here. But you can see that I just think they're so much nicer. There's already enough small pieces in this anyway.
Yeah.
And Hannah and I did this yesterday. Hannah's my little granddaughter. She did a great job puzzle piecing this together while we worked, and she did some pressing for me too. But I feel that, I don't know if that's a great tip for anybody or not, but like Jean said, read the pattern and look at the pictures, if they have pictures, and try to find pieces that make it easier to put together. Because the fewer seams you have, the more precise it's going to be too. And that is another reason that I like to use the Deco Bob for my piecing.
I didn't even think of that. The fewer pieces, the more precise. That's actually an interesting. That's
Yeah.
good.
That's
Was that
what I
it?
think.
Are we gonna keep going?
I don't know. Should I keep talking about it? I don't know what we talk about.
don't
I
know.
can tell you about Brent and our vacation that he's been talking about for years.
We've been
Not
hearing
yet, no.
about it.
Yeah,
Dad's
I
been
know.
talking about for years. Me and Bradley came up with it last fall to do it,
Yeah?
and then Bradley broke his arm.
Yeah, we can't talk about that.
But it's on a daily basis.
Yes.
Yes.
And I have to
we
tell you
have.
that since I've moved to Twin, I love that Four Pines Quilting has such a great online store because I use it a lot. And I'm just saying that I do because you would think that Twin Falls would have a quilt shop. It has 50,000 people in it, and the closest actual quilt shop is about 2.5 hours away.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And so I say to Brent, I think you should put a quilt shop in Twin Falls. I know.
No.
But I'm just really grateful. I just want to put a shout out to how quick you guys turn stuff around when you order online, and you got a great setup for that. The store is really nice online. It really
You're
is.
welcome.
Yes, that you can you blame Danny for that.
I know, and little Riley worked so hard and
Yeah.
Eddie to get everything out, and I
Yeah.
just think that that's
We
really
do, yeah.
good.
Now we have
Yeah.
16.
Okay, so what I've been trying to do, this was because I'm like, let's go big time. Let's sell on Amazon. Do you know what a pain in the butt it is to get a merchant account on Amazon?
I bet.
It can't be that bad. Everybody I know has one.
No,
when I
to
heard that
sell
they-
stuff, not buy stuff on Amazon.
Right, no, I know. Affiliate links?
No, not affiliate links.
Oh, okay.
Like when you look up, this is coming soon, probably not till the end of the summer because I got to go through the stupid verification process. But like, if you want to buy like Bendertex fabric,
Oh.
you can't buy it on Amazon because nobody's selling it on Amazon, and Amazon can't sell it because they only distribute to local. So what I'm trying to do is get us set up so that we can sell some of our stuff. Like if you're searching for
Yeah.
creative grids, for example, or Orfil threads.
2 Pines in Twin Falls.
No, I can tell you the story why it's Four Pines.
No, we're not having any Twin Falls.
Okay, well, anyway, we're Four
It
Pines
could be Twin
Quilting
Peaks.
because don't say that. Anyway, we became Four Pines Quilting because my other daughter Jennifer started a business, and her husband decided to move to Wisconsin. And there were about 5 or 6 ladies that were like, are you going to keep the store open? What are you going to do? Da, da, da. And I said, well, I need another name. So Brent and I were in Concord for something, and we went to a bookstore, and I started going through quilting books.
We're in Concord to register the name. Did we make a trip for that? Were they
Yeah, but
hanging out?
no, it was because I think Nellie had to do something.
Oh, that's right too. Yeah.
And so we said, let's go to the bookstore. And so we were looking. I said, well let's choose a quilt block because that'll be really easy for the logo. So we found that 4 pines quilt block in a book, and I said, well, that's perfect. I have 4 pines behind my house in a row, and I have 4 kids. So 4 pines
so much
would.
symbolism.
Yes, and then Bernie cut down one of the 4 pines in the back.
I think you cut down 2 of them. You
Yeah,
only saved 2 of them to put a hammock up.
Then we put a hammock up.
A
And,
hammock under a pine tree is
Yes.
not well thought out.
well, it was nice. It was okay, and and that's how 4 pines came about. And then I remember that there was a time when we were back on Crescent Street on the back there. And we said, well, we either need to close this place or move to the next step. And that's when we bought the property on Summer Street. The Summer Street property was I didn't really want to do that. But the building, that church was for sale. And Bernie kept saying, that's a great place for the quilt shop. And I said, no, it's not. That's a mess. It's been empty for 5 years. It's going to cost too much.
To understand, we went and checked the property out. I believe it was late February, March.
Oh my gosh.
We went downstairs.
It was an ice
and it
skating
was
rink.
an ice skating rink because there was 2 inches of water in there.
Yes.
Holy.
And where the side was, they were trying to make a handicap entrance to downstairs, so they dug out the whole side
There
of the
was like a trench and it
building,
just
and all
water.
that water just went downstairs.
One of my favorite stories, though, we start reminiscing about this store, is I remember the first time I went to the New England Quilt Supply and bought fabric. And to this day, I remember this because I think it was like a $400 bill is what we ended up spending there. Like, I don't know if we can sell $400 worth of fabric. This is huge.
Oh, that's right. When
we were just like all stressing about $400 worth of fabric.
Yeah, but I can remember the very first shelves we had were probably the width of that. There was a fabric there and down. But the only thing that we did was Thimbleberries Club. That's how we started with Thimbleberries Club.
Yeah, and I just, like I said, I just remember buying the Thimbleberries collection.
And I just want y'all to know, I found a Thimbleberries Club kit in my stash. But I just think that with everybody's help supporting us and the goodwill that you bring us, it's just a wonderful place. It is just awesome.
Like I
Brent
said,
always says we're a community.
it's a
We're not a
it's a community center. It's not a store. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for that. And I had a hard time leaving it. I did want to leave Brent in charge. I don't know if anybody should
And
know
that's
that.
why you now get sci-fi quilts.
You know why he's a community center? None of us wanted him.
But you see, it works out good because nobody really wants to be in charge. So it's almost like some weird social experiment of how to make a store that nobody's in charge of.
Well, I just really am so grateful for Brenda, and I'm so grateful that people finally bought into Kimberbell. I remember when Kimberbell first came out, we were on Summer Street, and it was not a big thing.
And we
then
would
all
buy
of a
them,
sudden,
and you would take the one book and you'd make everything, and everybody's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I want that or not. But now it's like awesome. So
Jean says Brent has done well.
he does
He has.
awesome. I just
I have
decided.
not, you can tell I have not missed too many meals.
We like-
So
I have just
He's been
decided
desperate,
that
but none of them-
I'm just
none of
gonna
us want
let him have it, and he can make it work because that's what happens, and I'm grateful for that.
are we ready? Thank you for joining us for another episode of Shenanigans with Becky and the OG Becky and Brent. So on, and be excellent to each other.